I have a good excuse this time. I don't have a good excuse this time. But hello and welcome, my name is Ansu. If you're new here, consider subscribing down below. I didn't film for the past couple of weeks just because I didn't feel like it. I don't know why, I just did not want to sit in front of a camera and film, but I was literally checking my channel every 2 seconds because I wanted to post, but I just didn't want to go through the process of filming and editing. But I digress. The point is, I didn't film, but today I wanted to talk about the books that I read in the month of January because we are done with January. So let's talk about them. I did end up reading 4 books this month, and my main goal for 2024 was to read the books that I own physically and finish up that whole spiel. And honestly, I've been very good at it. I ended up reading 4 books off my shelf, and the first one was Tress of the Emerald City by Sanderson. So Tress, our main character, lives on the Emerald Sea, and she has a very simple life. She's collecting mugs that she gets from sailors and stuff, and she really does not travel anywhere else. And she basically just ends up talking to her one and only friend Charlie, who is just this weirdo, honestly. But they seem to have a good relationship, and it's kind of cute. One day, Charlie's dad essentially takes him on this voyage, and they go away for finding a bride for Charlie. Of course, something happens during that trip, and Tress is on this quest to save Charlie, and it's supposed to be very cutesy. The world in here is that the sea is very dangerous in the sense that if anything really touches the water directly without like salt or some kind of a barrier, it will start sprouting things. And that could literally be the death of you. So Tress has never really traveled, and she's going on this incredible journey of trying to save Charlie. And it's a sweet, cute story. It really feels kind of like a YA. I don't think it's supposed to be, but it's really magical. It's very sweet. And if you're looking for a fun time, I think this would really be something that you could enjoy. I think they give this 4 stars, and it's pretty enjoyable. It was also very predictable as to what was going to happen. But I still did enjoy this book, and I would really, really recommend this one because it was a pretty good book. Next up, I ended up reading Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. This one, okay, I read one other book by Alice Feeney, and it kind of has the same plot twist, sort of. Well, I'm not going to tell you what that is, obviously, just because I don't want to spoil it for you, but this is a pretty good story. It falls around this couple who have been married for 10 years. Each anniversary, the wife basically writes a letter to her husband, but never actually gives it to him. The husband himself is face blind. Like, he looks at people's faces and sees absolutely nothing. It's like a blank canvas. That's it. He does not read emotions. He can't really see any distinguishing features, like nothing. He cannot see anything on a person's face. So obviously he doesn't even know what his wife looks like. Adam, our main character, is a writer. He has a story that he wants to kind of make into a movie, I think. It's called Rock, Paper, Scissors. On the flip side, we have Amelia, who has always felt very unseen. Their marriage is kind of coming to an end, and they decide to go to Scotland. They're at this trip which Amelia randomly won, so they're going there, and it's supposed to be really creepy. And you will see things that happen which will really leave you kind of questioning everything. It kind of reads almost like a horror story, thrilling. It's really fun, but the twists were not my favorite because I kind of saw it coming just because of the other book that I've read by Alice Feeney. It's still very enjoyable. I did give this, I think, 3 stars. It was pretty decent. It was not bad at all. Next up, I read Betting on You by Lynn Painter. If you didn't know, I absolutely adore Lynn Painter. I think she just writes really adorable stories, especially Better Than the Movies was one of my favorite YA romances that I've ever read, and I loved it so much. If you haven't read that, definitely pick that up. This one follows around Bailey and Charlie. Bailey is moving to Omaha right after her parents' recent divorce, which is very shocking to her, and she ends up meeting Charlie on the plane ride, and he just seems like this absolute asshole of a person, and she does not want to even be associated with him, does not want to talk to him, yada yada yada. A couple of years later, she ends up meeting him again, surprise surprise, at her new workplace. So obviously she's shell-shocked, she doesn't know what to do, she doesn't like this guy, and does not want to strike a friendship with him because he seems like he knows everything. They just have this very playful banter, they're bickering all the time, they kind of fake date at a certain point, and it's supposed to be cutesy, but also there's so much miscommunication. So if those are tropes that you like, I think you'll really enjoy this. Me personally, the amount of miscommunication that was in here without people telling their feelings just drove me nuts. I just wanted them to actually talk about their feelings. But I get it. They were only like 17 years old. In my head, I thought they were like 20 at least, and I did not really expect them to be 17 until I started reading this book. And I was like, oh, okay. But I think Better Than the Movies was better. This is just an enjoyable quick read. I did like it, but yeah, I think I give it another 3 stars or 3.5 maybe. It was enjoyable. I liked it. The next, technically the final book I read in the month of January was Check and Mate by Hazelwood. This is my first book that I've read of Hazelwood, and I'd like to say that I really enjoyed it. I gave this one also a 3.5 stars, I think. This one follows around Mallory, who is absolutely done with chess just because it ruined her family like 4 years ago. Her primary focus right now is her mom and her 2 sisters. At this point in life, her mom is kind of struggling with, I think it was arthritis, where her bones are very weak. So she's taking care of her mom and her sisters, and things are not great. Let's just leave it at that. One day, she gets this opportunity to go and play chess, and it's supposed to be like a one-time thing for her friend, but at this like little championship thingy, she ends up winning against Nolan Sawyer. Nolan Sawyer is the best chess player out there. He's the champion chess player, I guess, and her like winning against him was such a huge thing. People are talking about it, and she kind of gets pulled into this chess world one more time, and she's trying to navigate her feelings of how much she loves playing chess but also does not want to do it at all, and those kind of feelings. It's really interesting to see how she's kind of going through all these different emotions, and I did like that aspect. The one thing I really, really hated was them talking about Riverdale, the TV show, and I'm just like, I don't think any youths or any kids these days are actually watching Riverdale, because Riverdale is an absolute shit show and we all know it. So Hazelwood trying to be like cool with the youths and just talking about this random TV show, like you could choose so many others and she just chose that one. I did not like that. It was mentioned a couple of times at least. Like, I did not understand that whatsoever. That was weird to me. That's not important, but it really threw me off the couple of times it was talked about. And also, I think this is something that I've noticed with other people talking about Hazelwood's books. The guy character is usually super huge. Like, he's very tall, he's very hunky, he's very strong. And that's kind of the same thing with Nolan's character in this book as well. He's hunky. And I noticed that, even though I have not read anything else by Hazelwood, I definitely noticed that. She has an interesting writing style that I think I will continue reading from her as an author, but it was definitely an entertaining book, and I will continue on with other books by her. Also, it really did make me want to play chess, but I don't really know how to play well. Okay, those are all the books I read in the month of January. There's a couple more hours in this month, so I thought I would just mention the book that I'm in the middle of, which is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I've been at this for a little while now, but since I'm reading it physically, it's been taking me a little longer. I think I can finish it at least by tomorrow, maybe the day after, but it's going to be stepping into February. But I did read most of it. I do have like 4 hours or like 150 pages left, so we'll see. It's gonna happen, possibly. But yeah, those are all the books I read in the month of January, but here's to me actually posting more frequently. Let's, like, fingers crossed this year is the year that Ansu stays on top of her shit. But we're gonna try. There's no hope for me really, but it's fine. Alright, you guys, those are all the books that I wanted to talk about. Let me know down below what you read in January, what you liked, what you disliked. I would love to know. Let me know what your goals for the year is in terms of reading or other things in general. Let me know. I would love to know. I'm very nosy. So, and bye-bye.